Hello everyone, good morning. This is Ranjita. Again, today in this session, we will be learning about GST, HST, PST, and the place of supply rule in Canada. So, I have named this presentation as Understanding GST, HST, and PST in Canada, which is a clear overview of the Canadian tax structure. By the end of this session, you'll have a clear understanding of how the tax system, mostly the GST, HST, and PST rules work in Canada and how they differ and how they apply in the different provinces, how they are used, how the different tax rates differs in the different provinces. So let's get started with the first one, which is GST HST. So what is a GST? GST is GST stands for Goods and Service Taxes. It's a federally applied, federally levied value-added taxes in Canada, which is at the rate of 5%, and it's applicable in each and every provinces and territory across Canada. This GST HST is collected by Canada Revenue Agency, which is a federally recognized organization. For the GST HST for business, if you are a business owner who is making more than 30,000 in the taxable sales, okay, in the taxable sales, I repeat again, the taxable sales per year, if you earn 30,000, you must register for GST under Canada Revenue Agency. So a GST registered business, if you are a GST registered business in Canada, you can claim your business expenses through ITC. ITC stands for input tax credits. Okay. For example, let's say you buy a laptop of $1,000 in Alberta, which collects GST only. The GST will be 5%. 5% of $1,000 is 50. So the total price that you pay is 50. But you can claim this GST HST in the ITC. You can claim this GST HST in your ITC whenever you file the GST HST returns. So there is no provincial tax added over here. Okay, it's just the GST. So what are the provinces and territories that collects only GST? No HST, no PST, only GST. There are 4 provinces in Canada that collects only GST, which is Alberta, Northwest Territories, Nunavut, and Yukon. So these provinces and territories, they have the minimal GST HST rate, which is only 5%. So let's move to the next one, which is HST. So HST, it's a harmonized sales tax. What is HST? It's a harmonized sales tax which combines GST with a provincial portion. Okay, it's a combination of GST and the provincial portion. It's also collected by CRA. So it's one return to CRA and one registration number. What does that mean? So if a business owner is filing HST, it just files one return to CRA. And he just have one registration number with CRA, which is same to GST. HST is also fully recovered on the entire HST paid if it's for business use. For example, uh, if you buy a phone of $1,000 in Nova Scotia, the HST will be 15% of $1,000. So the total price will be 1,150. The HST charge is a single line item on receipts. It's not GST HST or GST or PST. So it's included with the GST. Okay, the HST is included of GST. So it's only 10% for Nova Scotia. The HST is only 10%, whereas it's 10% is HST and plus 5% is GST. Okay. So this is a combination of 10% HST and 5%, 10% HST and 5% GST. So the total price is 1150. So this is HST. HST is therefore the combination of the provincial portion as well as the federal portion of taxes. So there are some provinces and territories that collect HST. Those are 5 provinces in Canada. That's number one, Ontario, which collects 5% is already the GST rate. And on top of that, it collects 8% provincial tax portion, which is 8%. New Brunswick similarly collects 13%. 5% is, of course, the GST. On top of that, it collects 18%. Newfoundland and Labrador, similarly 15%, similar to New Brunswick. Nova Scotia, previously it was 15%. As of April 1st, 2025, it reduced to 14%. So now it's 5% GST and 9% provincial portion. Before it used to be, for Nova Scotia, before April 1st, 2025, it used to be 5% GST and 10% the provincial portion. Prince Edward Island, it's 15% again, which is 5% is the portion of federal and 10% is the provincial portion. Okay, let's move to the next topic, which is what is PST. Only for Quebec we have QST, okay, but for other portion it's provincial sales tax. Provincial tax that exists separately from the federal tax. So for certain provinces you have to register for PST on top of GST. GST is federal, it's applied for all the provinces. On top of that, except for those who are registered for HST, this provinces has already registered for HST, okay, that collect HST that already registered. These provinces all do not collect, only collect GST. So the remaining one are this one: British Columbia, Manitoba, Quebec, and Saskatchewan. So this collect PST on top of the GST. So what is provincial tax? What is PST? It's a provincial sales tax. It's collected by provincial tax authority. It's not collected by CRA. It's not federal. It's provincial. It's charged in addition to 5%. It's in the non-HST provinces, okay, for whichever provinces who does not collect HST, and except for those provinces which collect only GST. Business which are registered in these provinces may not always claim credits for PST paid, unlike GST HST. Okay, for example, if you buy a TV for $1,000 in British Columbia, the GST rate is 5%, the PST rate is 7%, the total price is 1120 dollars. But for ITC input tax credit, you can only claim the GST, this amount, not the PST amount. The PST amount is a type of expenses that they can include in their expenses, business expenses, but they cannot claim the ITC for this amount unless the province pay them for certain redemptions or provide some subsidies to them. They have the subsidies, some kind of redemptions in some provinces, but most of the provinces, they are allowed to include this only as a business expenses. They are not allowed to include the PST in their input tax credits. Okay, whenever you file your GST HST return, so you only claim 5% as input tax credit for British Columbia. So what is the provinces that charge PST separately from GST? Those are British Columbia, which charge the total is 12% on the sales tax, out of which 5% is GST and 7% is PST. Manitoba is 7% again. The PST rate is 7% again, which is 12% of the same like British Columbia. 5% is GST, 7% PST. Saskatchewan is 6%, where the total the PST rate is 6%. The total sales tax is 11%. 5% of GST included, and which is federal, and 6% of the provincial sales tax. Quebec is 9.975, which is 14.975 in total. So for Quebec, we don't write PST. It's QST, Quebec sales tax. 14.975, the total of the sales tax, which is a combination of 5% the federal tax and 9.975, which is the provincial tax for Quebec. Okay, I hope this all sales tax is clear for you. These are the provinces which only collect GST. Only GST. So these are the provinces which has a minimal sales tax rate. These are the provinces where you collect, where the business organization collect GST as well as HST. Okay, not so these organizations, the business organization registered in these provinces are registered only federally, not provincially, and they provide one GST HST return to the federally registered organization, which is CRA. So there are no two different types of return that should be submitted to provinces and federal. There is only one return that should be submitted only to the CRA. I hope it's clear. So for these provinces, the business registered under these provinces, they should submit two returns, one to province and other to the CRA. Okay, and they can claim only 5% of the GST. The rest, they are able to put those expenses under the expense category and claim the deductions likewise, but they cannot claim the ITCs. So, what is the place of supply rule? Whenever there is a GST HST, there is a place of supply rule as well. The tax rate, place of supply rule, what does it say? It says that the tax rate depends on where your customer is located, not where your business is located. For example, if you are Ontario-based shop, if you are registered in Ontario and you sell to someone who is in Alberta and you charge 5% GST. So if you sell to Alberta, you only charge 5% because Alberta is only GST. They only have GST. They don't have HST. They don't have PST. They only charge 5% GST. So you charge, if you sell to Alberta, you charge 5%, not the Ontario's 13%. Okay. I hope this all is clear for you today. This was all about the GST, HST, PST, and the place of supply. Thank you for watching my video today. Please like, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel and follow us for more. And if you have any questions, please leave us a comment and let us know in which topic you want us to make the video. Thank you for today. Bye-bye.